Paris fans, let's have a talk.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them.
Hey, listen, it's time. It's time we head over to the country of France and talk to Paris and check on you guys and see how everything's going. Athletes Forum Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Your host Jamal Clay. In order to either get good conversation or kind of really dive into the Paris Musketeers as they head into a pivotal game, week 2 versus Stuttgart Surge, I had to talk to the man. I had to talk to the voice. I went and got my man Waick on the show to talk some Paris. So what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. I wanted to talk to Paris. I wanted to talk Musketeers. And there's only one guy, the voice of Paris, to come in, represent the fans, represent the team, represent the red company, and to kind of talk about this Paris team a little bit. Obviously, a lot of expectations going into the season with how the offseason went. We already know they had a hard schedule, but I want to dive into your quick thoughts on last week's game and really focus on the Surge game. So, the Spark Notes version. What were your impressions, thoughts of the Paris Musketeers week 1 in the Del Rio era?
Man, it was a tough game. Like you said, we have a tough schedule, and going against the 2 times the back-to-back champs, it was a tough game. Obviously, the offensive line had a lackluster game. Let's just say the offense was not clicking. He's not clicking yet. We'll give it time. But we don't have much time because we're playing the Surge, and the Surge is already looking very, very good. But I'm confident because the defense had a really, really good game. Chad Jeffries made very few plays, and most of them with his legs. So, I mean, the defense is on point. He's going to get better. And I hope the offensive line is going to give Jaden Henderson more time to throw.
Absolutely. And just real quick, if you hear rain or thunder here at the Athletes Forum Podcast Studios, it's because in Southwest Florida, this is what it does. So excuse that. But no, I think you're absolutely right, man. I think the first half they really started slow. I think second half they kind of started to find their rhythm. I love how physical this defense is. I would say week 1, Surge, Paris, Nordic, probably the top 3 defenses in terms of what I like in terms of fast, physical, athletic, maybe talking a little smack. So I like what I saw from that perspective. And obviously on the offensive side, the struggles, offensive line, they left some meat on the bone, especially when you talk about the Takadam to Remy trick play in the first half. So we'll see.
That was for me the games, like that was the game changer right there already.
Yeah.
Because if you put points on the board on this play, it changes the whole dynamic of the game.
Yeah, because now you're looking at, I think it's a tie game at that point, or
it's the very first drive. It's the very first drive.
Yeah, it's interesting, but we're gonna flush week 1 available. We're gonna dive into week 2. All right, you've already mentioned it. They have a hard schedule. All right, and obviously we're not gonna look ahead, but their conference that they're in. You think about the Surge, you think about Frankfurt, and you think about their out-of-conference games. Paris is going to be challenging. If they want to prove that they're on that next tier, they're going to have to go through the fire. They got the Surge coming to town. Jordan Newman, the one team that looked polished and seasoned and not really week 1 like this past week was the Surge. They even play their full team that first game. What are your thoughts on how Paris pairs up with the Surge, obviously heading into this game tomorrow?
I think the Surge offensively looks very, very sharp. Even though, and we saw a very good game from Tomiwa Oyewo, Kai Hunter, those both running backs, and we didn't really so much of Luis Geyer yet. So that lets you know that it's going to get even better. And that's scary. That's very scary. I think offensively, Surge are way ahead of the Fire right now. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I agree.
Defensively, I got to see. I don't know yet. They look good. It was against Frankfurt, which is a good offensive team, but not the best. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But offensively, defense is gonna have his hands full. Let's say that
Yeah,
they're gonna have a lot of work to do, a lot of weapons to stop. You talk about Jeff Cotton, talk about Tomiwa Oyo, Kai Hunter, Riley Hennessy, and Louis Geyer. Those are the main threats offensively, and yeah. But I think our defense is gonna match up pretty well against that.
yeah. I think the defense is going to match up, fairly well. I think your linebacking core is very athletic. They're going to get tested in the run game, but you think about guys like Amir Kalani, who comes down in the run game and is not afraid to hit. Obviously, you got Cadell King, you got a couple other guys in there too. So I think defensively, if there's a mismatch in this game, it's going to be how they handle the surge passing game. But the surge passing game, if you think about it, going off week one, hasn't really even gotten started. It was a lot to Jeff Cotton. Louis Geyer didn't really get started. Pedro has to be respected. So we're going to see how they match up there. Obviously, on the other side of the ball, that's where things get a little tricky, because what Paris struggle with is probably going up against the best unit out of all teams in ELF, and I'm talking about the surge defensive front. So if you're Paris, how are you game planning knowing the animal you're about to face, going into this game?
I really don't know. like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie today to you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really scared. Week one was not a good performance. Let's say that. But the thing is, we had a pretty rough off season. Let's say that in Paris. Was
a lot going on for sure.
Signings, not a lot of communication going on. We didn't know what the team was going to look like, and we lost both our starting tackles from last year.
Yeah,
Thomas Felicia is done playing football, went back home, and we lost Olivier Bourdin, which was one of in France, one of the biggest old linemen in France history, right? And he played down the stretch during the playoffs, and was dominant at right tackle. It was dominant against Munich, was dominant against Vienna. It was really good. But we lost both of them. So now you kind of, in a weird situation where you don't have tackles with experience. So going against that front seven is going to be a huge task. And maybe trying some more screen passes, quick game, give it to Hugo Tegedam, Austin Mitchell, and maybe trying to get some yard after catch. That's how you're going to slow the pass rush, and maybe feed the run game a little bit more, because I think we kind of stopped winning the ball a little early last week.
Yeah. I think definitely don't abandon the run. I'm a big fan of Kander. I'm a big fan of Vaombu as well too. O-lineman's much better going forward than it is backward. Definitely I would, even if it's not successful attacking that defensive line in the run game, and you're not getting the yardage you think, sometimes it's just the attempts. Right? Sometimes it's just you need to run the ball 20 to 25 times a game just to loosen things up, just to mess with the eyes in the secondary. Because sometimes, again, even if it's not effective yardage wise, sometimes it's just the attempts as well. And like you said, I thought they kind of got away from that a little bit last week. And hopefully they come out looking to make a statement, but be consistent with that statement going the full game. Obviously, Jalen Henderson, a lot expected of him. Coming into Paris, kind of got off to a slow start. Nerves, what was it? Maybe I don't think he was trying to do too much. I don't think the game plan was made that way, but maybe just didn't really expect the talent that this league has to offer. I thought the second half we kind of got to see what he is going forward. What do you think he has to do to get up to a fast start going up against this surge defense heading into this game?
Yeah, like you said, last week he was a bit surprised by the quickness and of the
windows just close a little faster.
Yeah, they're a little faster than in the GFL, even though the GFL is very good league. But
Yeah,
ELF
absolutely.
is just above what he was used to see in the GFL. So now going into the second game of his career, I think the nerves are gonna get away. He's gonna be more poised in the pocket, and like I said, he's gotta get rid of the ball quicker. And
Yeah,
if it's not there, throw it away. Don't take
yeah,
sacks like he took last week. And those were big ones. Well, I think about the 2nd and 12 in the first half that he took a
yeah.
sack and went backwards 10 yards. So it was 3rd and 22. So there's not much you can do with 3rd and 22, right? So
No, there's not a lot of plays for that.
nah, it's not a lot of plays for that. So maybe you take less sacks, get rid of the ball quicker, and if it's not there, throw it away. Get to leave another play.
Most definitely. Let me ask you this, and I kind of want your thoughts on the names I'm about to give you. When you think about LaRose, when you think about Dable Wolf, Anthony Mahungu, right? Where's when is their impact going to be felt in this offense? I get it. It's only week 1. Guys are a little bit older, maybe could be hurt. I'm not here to. I don't officially know, so I'm not here to like break any news. But I just feel like this offense is missing their presence, their impact in one way or another. I mean, you got 2 guys that have been on NFL rosters, and you got a guy, if he's playing tight end, could be a matchup nightmare in LaRose. When do you feel like we're gonna feel their impact in this offense?
I mean, like I talked to Kevin Wamba last
Yeah,
week, and he told me this offense is made for him. Like
yeah.
he's
Hey,
gonna flourish in that offense. Now,
yeah,
I think with both tight ends like that we got, Kevin Wamba is a very good pass catcher, but he's also a very good blocker, one of the best
yeah,
blocking tight end in the entire league.
yeah,
And pairing him with LaRose is gonna, be a matchup nightmare for defenses.
yeah,
Once they get, when they get used to playing, with Jaden Henderson and in that offense, they're gonna get more comfortable. And
yeah,
once they get maybe week 2, week 3, it's gonna take some time now.
yeah,
But once they get going, I think it's gonna be a matchup nightmare. You're gonna go 2 tight ends. You can run the ball, throw the
yep,
ball. So,
absolutely.
and with Mahungu coming back really soon, and Anthony W. Wolf on the outside, plus Austin Mitchell, Hugo Tekedam. I mean,
Remy when he's on he's a 1,000-yard
Remy when
receiver.
he's on. So you got to pick your poison. And I
Yeah,
think it's gonna be the challenge of Luke Del Rio to put
yep,
on the field the best personnel against to take advantage of the defenses he's got in front of him.
yeah. And I like how Kevin played last week. You could tell in that second half they wanted to get him more involved. They started attacking those linebackers and even started attacking Flamore Siemens' zone. Going across the middle. Obviously, we saw how it ended, but you saw Kevin get more involved, in this offense. So, Paris fans, obviously, nothing to be, don't sound the alarms yet. But you got to understand that you're getting the best of the best early, and you're going to have some late in the year. It's good to see where you stack up. Because keep in mind, despite we're talking like they got blown out last week, they only lost by 2. Right?
Yeah.
They only lost by 2. If anything, that's the encouraging sign right there.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see how this team pans up. The Surge, potentially, I still have them in the top 3. I'm not ready to go there yet, even though they had a great performance. Potentially better than the Fire, but we'll see. We'll see how everything plays
I
out.
think so.
Yeah, we'll see how everything plays out. So this would be a good test. Let me ask you this: How does Paris win this game?
Paris wins this game. In my opinion, you gotta let Riley Ellisy keep him off the field. Let him sit on the bench. Stop. And when he's on the field, stop the run. Stop the run. Stop Kai Hunter. Stop Tomiwa Oyewo. Stop those guys. Make them one-dimensional. And for Paris offense, keep him. Yeah, run the ball. You gotta run the ball like you run the ball pretty well last week. So you got to continue on doing that this week. Run the ball and put the ball in the paint. That's the bottom line. You got to put the ball in the paint. Like you get into the red zone, you got to get into end zone. That's the end goal of it. You can't just get 3 points against those teams. it's not gonna cut it.
No, it's not going to cut it. And I'm with you. I picked Paris to win this game tomorrow, and I'm excited to see how they play out. I think for me, and this is nothing against like the Surge coaching staff or team or whatever, I think this game is one of the reasons why you want to trust Jack Del Rio, right? He has film on his team. He knows where they need to improve, how they're going to improve, where they could get better at. He knows how to coach them now because he's gone up against a different team. He also has film on the Surge. He knows a scheme. It's hard going into week one when you don't know, what type of offense or defense you're going to get for the most part. But now he has film, and this is where for me, this has to be Jack Del Rio's. I don't want to say greatest performance, but this has to be one of the reasons why you brought him in, and that's to prepare and show that he could get this team to compete with one of the top tier teams in the league. I also picked Paris to win. I think that second half was more encouraging, and I think they found who they want to be. But not only Jack Del Rio, offensive coordinator Luke Rail is going to have this hands full as well too, because this Surge defense is no joke, and they've been that way for 3 seasons. They've been that way for 3 seasons. So we'll see how everything pans out. Lastly, what would you if the Surge? Let me rephrase this. If Paris wins this game, what do you think that does for the team, the fan base, knowing what's still left on the schedule? Obviously, Frankfurt twice, Surge again, Fire, Vienna. Yeah. If they win tomorrow, and it will be a statement win if they do. What does that tell the fans the potential of what this team could be for this season?
If you win tomorrow, not tomorrow, on Sunday, it's gonna tell the fans that the team that we got here is gonna go for a championship. That's the statement that's gonna be made if you win this game. Now, it's a must-win game. You gotta have this sense of urgency that you gotta win this one. Now, if you lose, it's not over yet, but it's gonna get real tougher for you to get into the playoffs. So you got to win this one and put the league on notice, like we are for real. And the fans, and it's also, let me say this, it's also important for, we got all this stadium stuff going on during the offseason. We were supposed to play in Beauvoir, and at last second they say no. So we got to play in Bondouf now, and people were upset about it. So if you stack up wins, fans are going to be more inclined to come to the games. It's going to get more fans to come to Bondouf, which is not, which is a little bit far from Paris, actually.
Most definitely. And I'm with you. This, I'm not going to say it's a must win, but if you lose this game next week versus, I think you got Frankfurt, next week becomes a must win. So we'll see how everything pans out. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, talking to the Paris fan base, talking to the Red Company, talking to the country, of France, heading into this game against the Stuttgart Surge, game of the week, statement game. We'll see how everything pans out. Real quick, where can people give your YouTube page, Instagram a shout out? Where can people follow you? I'll also tag it in the description below.
You can find me on Instagram, Waick1, WAICKOENNONE. Excuse me, Waick NFL on YouTube. I'm on TikTok too. I think it's Waick1, the same as IG, WAICKONE, and that's it.
Most definitely. Well, hey, Locker Room, you know how this works. Drop a comment throughout the show. Let us know what you think. This is an interactive podcast. We'll chop it up. Subscribe, share with a friend, and we're heading into week 2, which is going to be an awesome week in the league. The league did a good job scheduling. I'm excited to see how this pans out. Athletes Forum Podcast. Everyone, take care.